Hello, and welcome to the Moncast.
Your name's Stevie.
And your name's Sam.
Yeah, those are our names. Today we're taking a break from watching the episodes to talk about a video game. Specifically, Digimon World 1 for PlayStation 1. Because why not?
1-1.
1-1.
The first one.
The first one, yes. We're going to try something a little different, because we used to have a segment where I used to show Stevie stuff, and that was cool, but it also, was a lot of stuff. I know what I mean. What are the words I want, Stevie?
I don't know.
What I mean is, we're going to be doing some episodes where instead of talking about the actual show, we're going to be talking, little standalone episodes where we're going to talk about, the games and books and toys and stuff like that. So this is the first one, so hopefully it goes kind of well. And we're going to be talking about Digimon World 1. So, first question for you, Stevie, is what did you think of it? Just generally.
I have an awful lot of nostalgia for the game.
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably not as good as I think it is, but I do think it's a really good PS1 game.
Okay.
I'll still revisit it quite often.
I've got an emulator on my phone, and I play it on there sometimes, because it runs it.
I've considered getting my PSP out again because I could play it on that on the go. That would be great.
You can play it on PSP?
Yeah, you can get all sorts on PSP. You can basically turn PS1 games into PSP files or something. I
don't know why. Okay, so I can play it on my phone, but the thought of playing it on a PSP was somehow amazing to me.
A PlayStation game on a PlayStation Portable? Who'd have thought of that?
Did you ever finish it, though? Actually finish the game?
Yeah, I've finished the full game,
okay.
But I'm not sure if I've ever done it without using cheat codes.
Okay, that's the big thing, because I have never finished it.
I probably have done it.
I've never finished it without a guide, because that game without a guide is basically impossible. But the guide I had was also incorrect. I had the official strategy guide, and there were things in there that were just wrong. So we'll go and do a thing well, that's not happening. Why isn't this happening? Some of the stuff and some of the recruitment requirements, that's hard to say, recruitment requirements. Oh, I hate that. Some of them are so difficult. Some of them are easy. For example, Piximon. I remember Piximon being difficult because there's about a 3% chance of it spawning. You know when you go over the bridge?
Yeah.
To go to the tropical jungle?
Tropical jungle.
Yeah.
The most inventive name for a jungle ever.
There is a 3% chance of it spawning in that one area.
It's during the evening, usually.
Yeah.
And then you just had a pretty difficult fight against it to get it to join. The
worst one's probably Digitamamon. That was basically the Kingdom Hearts Sephiroth of Digimon World 1. It was so difficult. It had it had maximum health, and I think it had maximum attack as well.
It's in Infinity Mountain, isn't it? Right near the end of the game.
It's where you would fight Machine Dramon, or Digimon Next Order's version.
Yeah.
Machine Draymon.
The Machine Draymon.
We are going to talk about Next Order at some point, but we are going to mention it briefly at certain points, because obviously it's kind of it is literally a sequel to this game, so.
I've not finished Next Order.
It's good, but that's not the game we're talking about, because I can jump into that easily, because that game ate my life. But Digimon World 1, I remember we had it, and it was just so hard when I was a child, because it had so many stats and stuff. Do you remember what Digimon you ended up with the most?
Ooh, the one I remember getting Dromojimon quite a lot. I didn't make it to Ultimate very often. Yeah, that made it more of an event when I actually managed it.
I think I got Meramon, and I know I got Numamon a lot because I was really bad at the game, and Sukamon.
The worst ones.
But I think one of the Birdramon as well. I remember getting Birdramon because Birdramon was hideous in that game. The flame animation is awful, so Birdramon itself is just a mess to look at. Yeah, I think I got Meramon the most, or Sukamon. I think it was Sukamon the most because I just hate Sukamon so much.
Sukamon is so much worse than Numamon.
I like Numamon. It's quite nice. I think I've said it before in something that I kind of like the design of Numamon.
It's just sludge.
But Sukamon's just clearly a poo. And it's...
But you could go up to Garbage Trash Mountain even and get it turned back, which was pretty cool. But you'd have to make your way all the way up with a Sukamon, which would be the hard part.
It's not the easiest.
One thing I really liked was exploring everywhere and dodging all of the monsters to get really far and then being murdered because you're clearly not supposed to be there yet.
Yeah, the difficulty spike was literally like screens. So one, you'll be fine running around in the set. You'll go into the next area and you just get wiped by something. I always remember is it the Overdale where there's the Tsukaimon, the purple Patamons?
Yeah.
Always going in there and just hearing them flipping at you and then just jumping at you. Or there's, I think it's either Gotsumon or Goblinmon or something like that, but they've got the stomping noise. That always reminds me of Digimon. That always reminds me of Digimon World 1. It's just that weird stomping noise.
The noise that I think of most from Digimon World is Agumon on the toilet when it's had a poo. And just goes, rawr, rawr.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's a question. So who did you start with when you played it?
I've played it so many times, I've had them both at different times.
Okay, who would you prefer to start with?
Gabumon.
Okay.
Because I'm an edgelord.
It's quite clear that I will always start with Agumon because Agumon's my favourite. So there were the two questions. There was the... I can't remember what they did, but I know that the day and night one was whether you got Agumon or Gabumon. But what was the do you own a Digivice? It's
supposed to just be something to do with how easy the game is, I think. And it also asks about day and night, and I think it asks about friends as well. Like if you prefer to have friends or be on your own. Or might be misremembering that question.
I don't remember that one, but I do remember do you have a Digivice and day and night?
Yeah, those two are definitely there. And of course it asks your name. And you can only have 6 letters in your name, which was always annoying.
I never had that problem because my name is 3 letters. It's the laziest name.
Mine is 7. Which is really annoying.
Yeah, I don't.
Or at least my birth name is 7.
But people always assume my name's Samuel, and it's not Samuel. It's just Sam. It's just 3 letters. My parents didn't care.
Well, that's a bit sad. There's only 1 letter difference between Sam and sad.
So you could say it is a bit sad. Yeah, it's a bit of sad.
Okay, back to Digimon.
Yeah.
What would you say your favourite area of the game is?
Ooh, apart from File City.
Well, obviously, because you spend almost all of your time in File City.
And Green Gym. That I just live there, basically. I think I like...
Big butts and I cannot lie.
Oh my god, that's so bad. Why would you do that?
Because you set me up for it.
I know that there are places that give me anxiety, like the Ancient Dino region, where time speeds up so they age faster.
The Speedy Time Zone.
That's the one. Yeah, that gives me anxiety, and the Dark Mansion gives me anxiety.
Now, I have a fun story about Speedy Time Zone.
Uh-huh.
Which is that I never knew what you were supposed to do in there. So I spent ages exploring as a kid, never knowing where to go. Just reaching the end of it with a Suberdramon. And never completing the area.
Did you just say... What did you say that the Digimon's name was?
Suberdramon.
Suberdramon?
Yeah.
Isn't it Saberdramon?
I'd pronounce it Suberdramon. Because it's like Birdramon with
Sa. Saber.
Well, it's Saberdramon.
It's Saberdramon.
Because it looked like a Birdramon, but it's a different colour.
It kind of makes sense that it would be Suberdramon, but it looks like it's spelled Saber.
Well, I was a kid, and there was just tons of recoloured Digimon with things put in front of the name. So I thought it was Suberdramon.
Like
and
there's,
sticking with it.
There's Kunemon and what was its other one called? It's like Dokunemon, which is the green one.
Yeah, there was Psychemon as well, which was the purpley Gabumon.
Wait, that was in the first one?
Yeah, I think it's in Gears of Hana mostly.
Oh yes, where Mud Frigimon is and the weird Unimon.
What is it? It's like Shima Unimon.
Yeah, and there's man, there are a lot of recolours in that game.
Nice Dramojamon.
Oh yeah,
it's just nice Dramojamon.
I used to call it Nisei Dramojamon.
No, it's nice Dramojamon. It's a Dramojamon, but it's nice.
And it's got the weird little moustache.
Yeah. Anyway, I was telling my story, wasn't I, about Speedy Time Zone?
Oh, yes.
And basically it took me several years to find out that you can turn left at the end of a tunnel, like that massive rib cage. I never knew that you could turn left at the end of it because it wasn't clear at all. It took my cousin telling me about it to finally find that place with the Meteormon. So some of it was really hard to find.
A lot of it. A lot of that game is... It's one of those ones where the actual environment isn't a physical environment. It's like a photo, basically. And
it's like the Final Fantasy games on PS1.
A lot of PlayStation 1 games did this, I think, where they emulated the 3D space, but what you're actually doing is, instead of you actually going, like, into the distance, your character model just shrinks and grows.
It's pre-rendered backgrounds.
Yeah, but to be fair, like, the backgrounds and everything give me nostalgia, because they are hideous. Like, that game's not a pretty game. Nothing in that game is pretty.
The Digimon models are pretty nice for PS1 standards.
Oh yeah, I suppose, yeah. Although it is extremely horrifying when they die and they're like, what to the young version of me saw was, they exploded and their skin fell off and they became a wireframe.
They did that whenever they digivolved and it looked painful.
Yeah, it was always...
But you always get excited when it like freezes for a split second and then the Digivolve bubble appears and you're just like, oh, yay!
Oh, I used to love, because the actual thing itself, in order to, like, initiate the actual evolution thing, it would, like, the screen would, like, everything would stop for, like, a split second, wouldn't it?
And in that split second, you'd be like, is it digivolving?
It's happening.
Is it dying?
And then you get the little bubble of, like, the blob turning into a man.
Yeah, because that's how Digimon digivolve.
Yeah. But it was always exciting when they started evolving, because they'd do their scream, and then there's just the sound of all their skin falling off, which is horrifying. And then there's the glowy white light, and then like you try and see if you can see like little bits of frame poking out to see what it would be, and it would always be a damn Sukamon. Always.
That's only if you're a literal shit trainer.
Your point being?
You just have to take them to the toilet or have portable potties
I can't, because I need to train them one more time.
You're just an awful trainer then. You deserve to have a Sukamon.
I was awful.
I know how to be a good Digimon trainer.
I think I also got Tyrannomon at one point, and I was super excited and terrified because I didn't want to mess up.
One thing I do love is how big some of the Digimon are. Because they just dwarf your player character, and it's amazing. Mainly with the dinosaur Digimon that are just massive. It's best when you can't get them to fit into small spaces, so they just clip through walls. And it looks funny.
Did you ever know about the Metal Etamon thing?
Oh yeah, it's a Game Shark code.
Well, because I played the last 2 times I've played it, it's been on my phone, and the ROMs that I get come with the cheats already installed, so you can like activate them whenever and stuff. So I got all the evolution items, but Metal Etamon wasn't originally supposed to be accessible. What happened was you could enter a raffle, like a competition in Japan, to get a memory card that came with the codes to get the Metal Banana item, which evolved your Digimon into Metal Etamon. And that was only found out, I think it was like 17 years after the first game came out, after Digimon 1 came out, or something like that. I can't remember, but I remember reading it on some website. Give me like 2 seconds to see if I've got it saved. Metal Etamon's mystery solved. 17-year anniversary of the game. Because you could get it via hacking and stuff. And then people had all these different rumours how you can get it and stuff. Apparently there were a lot of myths in the game. Like, apparently chain melons were confirmed to spawn in Gear Savannah in 2013.
It's great how many mysteries there are in the game still. Because people are still trying to work out, like, Digivolution requirements and things.
Apparently on this article I've got, which is on digimonworld.org, it's the Metal Etamon mystery solved. It tells you about the fact that there was Metal Etamon, Heracles Caboteriumon, and chain melons and stuff, all these things that were confirmed in, like, the exact evolution criteria for Heracles Caboteriumon were discovered in 2011. And chain melons were only confirmed in 2013. And then 2016, oh no, it's not, that's the time of the writing. Okay, no, but it took so long for the, I think it was 2009 actually, the Metal Etamon thing they literally had a guidebook, and it says that memory cards containing ultra rare Metal Etamon data for the PlayStation software Digimon World were given out as presents, among other things. So you had to, like, have a memory card given to you. It's a bit like Mew in Pokemon, where you could only get it from, like, Toys R Us and stuff. You have to go and take your game over and they put it in the game. But apparently you had to get Metal Etamon that way, which is cool. I think I just always tried to get Greymon, because I like Greymon. And Metal Greymon.
Metal Greymon's blue in the game as well.
It's the virus version, because in the lore of Digimon, what happens is when Greymon evolves into Metal Greymon, it gives itself armor, but it also, like, dies. So the blue is its skin rotting. And then Metal Greymon evolves into Machine Dramon because it's replaced all of its organs and stuff with robot parts.
You can get Skull Greymon as well. Skull Greymon was a big one. You
can recruit him into your town as well. Can't remember what he had to do.
I think he went into the arena. I don't remember if he actually did anything in there, apart from stand around.
There were a lot of them that just stood around and did nothing.
Some of them stood around and did tiny things. Like Airdramon. Airdramon gave you, like, fortunes or something.
Yeah, Airdramon, you could go get your fortune read. But, like, Betamon just stayed in the fountain. Yeah, so, like, the best Digimon to recruit there was Birdramon, because it saved you walking across half a map.
Well, it only saved you walking across half the map if you spent ages battling to get money first. Or going out and collecting items to sell. True. Because Birdramon was expensive. But it just saved you, like, spending a whole day travelling. Well, in-game day. And in-game day is like 20 minutes. It's a pretty big world for a PS1 game. It'd take ages to get around anywhere. There was a lot going
on. Like, there were a lot of maps you can go to and stuff. It was a big game. What did you think of the battle system, though?
Really, the whole gameplay of it wasn't anything I got into that much. I care more for the world itself and the actual exploration than I do for the battling. Like, I didn't care if my Digimon was the best or anything. I thought
it was quite interesting because you could kind of tell. For example, let's compare it to Pokemon, where it is just a turn-based RPG. This was more you occupied a physical space, so to a certain extent, where you were physically mattered. Because if you were in a small room, you were in a small room and you couldn't run far. But if you were in the middle of, like, the starting forest, what's it called, like Green Forest? Something forest. The beginning forest, like, there are some big open spaces there. You could battle in there.
I'm hearing big, wide open space. Lovely gibberish.
And it was cool that you didn't really have to do anything for your partner. Like, you had to physically train their brain in order to get them to do actual commands for you, instead of it just being that you had to do, click attack, pick an attack, you do your attack, your opponent does the attack next turn. It was like you could stand there and literally press a button and it just does your call, and then they run around and do whatever they wanted to do. It was less that you were picking an attack for them and you were doing tactics. So you could pick, like, keep your distance or get up close or use an attack that does a lot of damage or uses a lot of MP. It was really cool. It was less of like, literally you're playing as the monster, pick an attack and stuff. It's the monster had a certain level of agency within itself. I always found that pretty cool.
Yeah, the battle system was alright. It only really got interesting if you trained the brains of your Digimon a lot, though. And that took ages.
Training itself took a long, long time. What did you think of the actual training system?
The training system was very boring.
Yeah,
it was basically you'd spend most of the in-game day just in the gym, doing it, activating it, skipping the animation, and going back to just do the same thing over and over again.
You'll do it like twice, and then you'll wait for a couple seconds to see if it needs to poop or eat, and then if it doesn't, you'll go back to training for 1 or 2 more times, and then you'll go and see if it does it, and if it does, like, one of the problems I have with the game is that the toilet was in the next screen over, so you literally had to go from the training area, run next door, let it go to the toilet, then run back to do more training. It was it's grind in every sense of the word. It didn't feel like anything fun was happening.
Well, it's heavily inspired by the Tamagotchis, but that's supposed to be like, you spend 2 seconds doing it 10 times in a day, not you do it 10 times in 2 seconds.
It did focus so much on the training. It was almost like 60 to 70% of the game is training your Digimon and raising it and then getting it strong enough and evolving it to a decent enough level. And then the other 40-30% was go out and explore. And it was basically a case of you work really hard, and the second they evolve, you run out of that door, and you don't stop running until you get to where you need to go, because you've only got like 3 more days until that thing dies. You've got to go and fight the thing.
Yeah, and if you've not played the game very much and don't know where things are, then you're not going to have much luck finding things. Because it's only through playing it an awful lot that I know where pretty much all the Digimon are and what is required to get them. So I can like go out and get 5, 7 new Digimon to join or whatever, just knowing where they'd come from.
Okay, well, I'm going to test you on this, actually.
Ooh.
Because...
just to see how many I remember.
Well, like I said, I needed the guidebook, and even the guidebook was wrong, so I ended up doing, like, using FAQs and stuff. Because that's what I had to do to finish the game. To be fair, though, I had to share my PlayStation with an older brother and a twin sister, so I didn't get a lot of time to play it. So basically, when I had time to play it, I was running around like a crazy person and just being generally terrified of every other Digimon because they can kill me super easily. So, how do you... Let's start with something simple. How do you recruit Kunamon?
You need to feed him a Digimushroom and then battle him and win to get him to join. And he has like 400 hit points, I think.
Very good. Yeah, you need to give him meat or Digimushroom and he'll battle you. And then what does he do?
He eats the bushes between File City and the Digimon Bridge, which leads over to Tropical Jungle.
Very good.
I've played it a lot, Sam.
Okay.
The early Digimon will be the ones I remember pretty easily. It'll be the later ones who are more foggy, because I won't have encountered them as much.
Okay, what about Seadramon?
Oh, you have to go fishing for him in Dragon Eye Lake. And then if you manage to catch him, you need like one of the best fishing rods to get him. Like the Super Rod, I think it's called.
The Amazing Rod. Super Rod's
Amazing Rod. Super Rod's Pokemon.
Yeah.
But yeah, you catch him and he gives you a blue flute so you can go over to Beetle Land.
Yeah.
Which is a land full of beetles.
Two beetles.
Where you get Quagmon and Kobutarimon.
Which
who both
one of them improved your training
gym.
area, didn't it?
They both improved the gym. They both end up in the gym.
I just remember not knowing that. Like, I didn't get that when I played it originally when I was a kid. And if I'd known about that, I would have tried so hard to get that so much sooner.
Improving the gym's very important.
It is very important.
I remember the first time I got the blue flute, I accidentally sold it. So I could never call Seadramon again. And there's no way to get it back.
Oh, wow, okay. That's game breaking.
So I could never go to Beetle Land. It was so sad.
Okay, how do you get Vaidmon?
Oh, Vaidmon's in Gear Savannah. You have to go there a few times and you see these weird circles on the ground so it's been putting down. Mm-hmm. And then, like, the third time you go, he shows up and you just have to battle him. Oh no, you don't battle him, I don't think. No, I don't think you battle him. I think you just talk to him and he randomly decides to go because he speaks in a weird alien language.
Well, you're mostly there. You need to read one of Shelmon's newspapers.
Yeah, that's
about
where
aliens.
It's like reports all the crop circles that are turning up.
But everything else, you're bang on.
And probably never got the correlation between having to read the thing and actually going there. Just
there were
because
so many things in this
read it
game
anyway.
That triggered something else, but you wouldn't know that it triggered something else.
There's a lot of intricate parts in this game.
Yeah, there were things like, I know Garurumon, you had to see at one point, and then it leaves, and then you have to go between, like, I think it's 4 and 6 or 4 and 8 on a day and battle him.
Yeah, he, like, challenges you to a fight at a certain time, doesn't he?
Yeah. There's a few that do that, and there's also some that appear on certain days. And then there's some that have ridiculous spawn rates, like, I think Marmimon's another one that's got, like...
Oh, yeah, Marmimon just turns up at the back of Gear Savannah, I think.
It's so, like, it's just a low number.
So many places were just called Gear Savannah. It might have been Mount Panorama that I'm thinking of where Marmimon turns up.
Well, there's...
Or am I making up that name?
Factorial Town, which is in Gear Savannah, I think it's near there. But Mount Panorama's also there as well. But I think you can go through Mount Panorama to get to Gear Savannah.
Yeah. Factorial Town is always hard to complete.
Yeah.
Because there's just so many powerful Digimon around.
It's
a very late game area.
Garamon, is it Garamon? The yellow Numamon?
The yellow Numamon, which have like 3,500 hit points.
Yeah. Some stupid amount. Let's find the most obscure one.
The most obscure one? There's a lot of ones that you'd just never find unless you knew where to look.
Okay, the one I think was really cool is Monzamon.
Monzamon had a whole story to it that you had to go through.
Yeah, it had to be a Numamon, which if I'd known at the time, it would have been great, because I never got Monzamon in the regular playthrough I had.
Aww.
Because I didn't know about the whole becoming Monzamon thing.
You had to take your Numamon to Toy Town and go into the costume house to turn it into a Monzamon, because there's just a costume that the Numamon slides into to Digivolve.
Yeah, I found the costume, but I never found the... It's so weird that it's literally just put a Numamon in a costume and it becomes a more powerful Digimon.
Well, that's probably how they explain Numamon digivolving into Monzamon. But then you had to take Monzamon all the way through this massive area to defeat Waru Monzamon in Toy Town, where there was just tons of Toy Agumon and Tankmon around. And then after that, you basically got the Monzamon's costume in Jaimon's house. So you could always digivolve Numamon into Monzamon, which was an awesome reward.
That's actually pretty cool, and I didn't know about that. That would have been so much easier for me because I was garbage.
Sadly, there's no way to quickly digivolve a Sukamon. But Monzamon in itself isn't the strongest ultimate by any means.
That would be Metal Greymon?
I'm not sure about base stats for ultimates, really. I mean, it depends a lot on how you trained them. I mean, Phoenixmon or Hercules Kobuterimon is probably the strongest ones you can get.
Is Phoenixmon a mega level?
Yeah, but it's an ultimate level in this game. And I managed to get it. And there's also Metal Seadramon. No, not Metal Seadramon. Waru Seadramon, who I think is one of the stronger ones. Might be called Mega Seadramon, even. Waru Seadramon's probably one of the wild ones that you encounter. There's a lot of Digimon that just look the same, but have different colours and names.
Okay, couple of questions then. Do you think the game holds up?
Ooh.
Like, if you were to release it now, let's say some basic things. If you were to make it more polished, like when they do like a HD remake, instead of remodeling it, they literally just like smooth it out a bit. If they did that, but then released it now, do you think it would hold up?
I don't think it would. Because a lot of the gameplay loop's just really repetitive. And a lot of the stuff that I like about the game, like the areas and things, you can still just get them from the original game. And the music is also one of the best parts.
Oh, we need to talk about the music. Okay. Let's finish this bit first. So yeah, like I think it also would, like, it wouldn't, if they released it now as it is, it's so broken. As I've said, you cannot play it without a guidebook. I mean, you can, but you're going to pump so much time into it and you're going to have very little idea of what you're doing.
Motorbike on my end for once.
I know, it's so weird for it to be on your end. Yeah, like, there's a lot of running around with very little idea of what you're actually doing, which I think...
Yeah, I only knew about most of the stuff from word of mouth, or just little hints I'd get in the game. I'd spend most of my time talking to Euramon over and over again, getting rumours about where to go.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they fix a lot of these problems in Next Order, which is the next kind of sequel. There was also Redigitized, but we didn't have a version of that because it wasn't in English. There is an English patch you can get, but we didn't have an official one. Okay, yep. The music. Let's talk about the music then. It was one of the first games I ever played that had a day-night cycle, full stop, but a game that had alternating music for day and night was really good.
All of the areas had their own distinct themes as well. It was really cool to just go to places and hear new tracks. Like,
Overdell and stuff had that weird, like the wind part, the woodwind instruments and stuff, and there was... There's... I can't describe the sound, but there's the noise from the tropical area. And then there's like one of the most well-known ones is the nighttime music in the city. It was
I
such
remember the day
good
theme more. because there's not that many Digimon that stay awake at night. So you hear the day theme a lot more. And it just goes like that for a while. It's a nice,
I think
nice calm music.
The best one was probably the battle music. Do 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 do, and they had like battle come up, and then it all like flies away with that really awesome noise, and then it's just the battle starts, and then you spend like your Digimon isn't smart enough to know any moves, but you will mash that button to do your call as much as you can because it'll help. It always helps.
When you're dumb enough to take rookie Digimon out of the city.
Mm-hmm.
And just get them killed over and over again.
Normally it'd be like the red Vegemon.
Mm.
They were always a nightmare. Or that Palmon, that grumpy Palmon.
Palmon's like one of the first fights.
Mm.
Oh yeah, the noise it makes.
The noises in that game, some of them are just
I told
brilliant.
you I'm a flower. They gave a lot of the Digimon personality, which was really good.
They all had their own little thing going on. Like every single, I think that was what made recruiting each and every one so good, because you'd go into a place and there'd be like you go into the tropical jungle and you're being fired at by this balls of energy running down, like raining down on you. Like, what have I got to do? So you like bob and weave and you find out it's Centaurimon, and it's like, you know, he's there protecting the place and stuff. Or you've got like Agumon, the first one you meet, he's just in a bad mood and he wants to fight someone. It wasn't as simple as like in Pokemon where it's a random encounter, you weaken it enough and you catch it and now it's on your team. Unlike that Pikachu you've caught, apart from stats, is exactly the same as the other Pikachu you caught. There's no difference in them. In the early games anyway, in the early ones, the later ones they gave them like, what's it called? Not moods, like personality.
Nature.
Pardon?
Nature.
That's the one. But even then, that was literally just an arbitrary change to stats. But in Digimon World 1, it was like, you know, you went and you helped the Digimon by feeding him, or you went and you fished a Digimon out, and it was like, oh, have this thing, or help, this Digimon has taken over my tunnel, so you go and fight them, and they're like, fine. And then you're like, oh, thanks for helping me. I will come to your city. It was so good.
There's so many little plot lines and things as well to find. Just little quests that you explore and discover yourself.
And the excitement when you go somewhere, like you go to the Ice Sanctuary and you're like, oh, you're not allowed in because you're not an Angel type Digimon. Or Vaccine type. You're like, guess I know what I'm trying to raise next. And then you unlock different moves. The moves were cool as well because like you could, by raising certain Digimon or fighting certain Digimon, you could unlock their attacks. And then you'd use better ones for your Digimon, which cost MP. And one of the problems, we can talk about problems later, but one of the problems I had is MP didn't restore. Like, it didn't naturally fill up.
Yeah, MP went down really quickly.
And if you have no MP, you cannot attack. There isn't like a basic attack. So you just sat there like a lemon, unable to do anything. You basically just have to run away.
But you do a lot of running away anyway. But that's because my tactic was usually to just avoid battles as much as possible. I just went through phases of training them as much as I could to get them to Ultimate, and then sprinting to recruit as many Digimon as possible, and not battling anyone. So it was very much just phases of doing different things.
Mine was like, I constantly was terrified of every Digimon. Constantly. Because they could kill me if they wanted to quite easily. Because I was like, okay, so I was really good at V-Pets. I'm really good at V-Pets. Like, I'm going to brag about it, but I'm really good at like keeping the time and everything and raising V-Pets. But when it comes to this, which is slightly more complex, little me could not figure out what to do when I was freaking out, and I just wanted the most attack for everything, and turns out most attack for everything doesn't always work. Because some of the evolution requirements were so specific, like you had to have this much attack and then this much defense, but then also have your weight at this between these two numbers and stuff, and it was so specific.
I actually made my own PDF guide for all the Digivolution requirements.
I can see you doing that. That seems like such a you thing to do.
I probably still have it on my computer. I ended up putting it on my Kindle. So I could have it up while I was playing the game.
I remember.
So this was more recently when I was playing it. And like,
I
I think I tried drawing a map at one point, but eventually gave up because I was it's just such a big world. It's a big game.
It is a big game, like especially when you get to the Ice Sanctuary and stuff, and the Misty Trees. It's really confusing. And
they just did a great job. But oh no, we spoke over each other now.
You can go first.
They just did a great job of making a massive, cohesive world.
Well, I was going to say, like, it felt big. It felt when you were in Ice Sanctuary, you were far away from home. I mean, it wasn't home; it was Far City, but it felt safe there. But when you've gone like 20 screens away from Far City, like, you feel far away from safety. Like, you're basically, it's just you out there trying to defend yourself.
It felt like an adventure to go anywhere.
It felt
which is really good.
You started off with your little baby Digimon, and then you worked as hard as you can to get the stats you kind of wanted to try and get something that was good enough. And then when it got to Champion, like, it felt like you basically packed everything you needed and you went off on that small excursion out to go and recruit the one you wanted or to get the item that you needed. It felt like it wasn't just a case of running around freely. I think that's one of the good but also bad points of the game is it's not a case of you don't get to run around and do what you want at your own time. There's a certain level of you've got to accommodate for your Digimon for what they need. You can't just pack up and leave and go to Gear Savannah. You've got to make sure your Digimon's strong enough that they've got enough life left to last that time, that you've got enough items to make sure that they can fight efficiently. It's not just a case of running around like a crazy person. And when you get to this level of power, I think that's one of the good things about the game as well, is because your Digimon had a life cycle, you didn't level up to like level 50, and then everywhere you had problems before is now easier. So running around, the starting forest didn't suddenly become an easy thing to do, because after a while, all that progress gets kind of reset because your Digimon dies and starts again.
It's got a lot of cycles in it. Like the major downside to the game is the gameplay for me. Like, everything else about it I still really enjoy.
Oh yeah, like
all the world, all the music,
the
stories and the characters, but it's just the gameplay that is a bit stale.
Like the sheer amount of training you have to do. It's literally grind. The amount of grind you have to do to get to the actual quest part of it is so much, and it's not fun. There's no like entertainment value to it. You're just pressing buttons, watching small numbers get slightly bigger. It took so long. But compared to some of the other games that were out at the time, it was so different and so unique. And I did love it, and it was good.
Yeah, I still really enjoyed the game, even if it hasn't aged that well. It has its flaws.
I mean, do you remember the plot of the game?
The plot of the game is that the Digimon have basically become like feral and left the city.
Well, you start off as...
you have to go and get them back.
You start off as just a generic kid, who we find out's called Hero? I think his name's
That's
Hero.
like the next game. Like in that game, I don't think he even has a name.
But he's voiced by the person who voices Izzy. I think her name's Marsha? Is it Marsha? Something?
I have no idea.
But it's whoever voices Izzy voices everybody else in the game. In the cutscenes. The weird, really weirdly doughy cutscenes.
The CGI cutscenes that they had.
Where their mouths aren't mouths, they're just weird dents.
It like opened up just with it zooming in on Japan in a park, and there's just two people with Metal Mamimon and Metal Greymon having a fight with the Tamagotchis. And
then the main character runs on a can, and the can gets weirdly flattened because it's bad animation. Then he watches the fight, and then you go into the VPET to watch these two creatures have a big fight, whilst in reality they're just watching two pixels fighting each other.
But it had awesome music.
Because the whole the fight loaded up, yeah, it was just really cool. And then he goes home, the main character goes home, and then hears noise because his VPET's flashing light, and then he's like, "It's Digimon," and then he gets sucked into it and screams in a horrifying scream.
It's just Carmen going,
oh yeah. Honestly, the creature noises in this game are so weird. The other also weird noise is the sound of them straining because they need a poo. It's just awful. No, don't actually do it though.
The sound effects are so good.
But even some of the noises, like some of the menu noises and stuff, they even use in the newest games. Like in most of the Digimon games, actually. It's cool.
For first, not technically first attempt at a game, it was really good. I'm pretty certain there was like a Sega Saturn game or something in Japan.
Digimon World S, yeah. That was basically just a glorified VPET.
Mm.
But for like an open world RPG, it was really good.
I really want to play it again now. Why have you done this to me?
You should. You should go and play it. It'll be fun. I will absolutely not touch it because I've been playing Monster Hunter Stories. But, no.
When I eventually manage to hack my Vita so I can play PS1 games.
Do you think it would sell well now if they released it? Like, not, what do you think, does it hold up? But like, if they did like a HD remake of it, do you think it would sell quite well?
I think it would probably not sell to anyone other than hardcore Digimon fans. So it probably wouldn't sell that well. I still want them to throw up a PS1 classic though, but there's not been any new ones in years, and it's really sad. I just want it on my Vita.
Just do what I do and just play it illegally on your phone.
It's not the same.
It is not.
I could play it on my PSP, but I don't want to have to take my PSP and my Vita around everywhere. Because that's just annoying. I'll just have to become a homebrew hacker. It's the only way.
Is there anything more you want to say about the game? Or are we all done? Okay, what was your favourite?
One of my favourite glitches, which was that if you scrolled down too far in the jukebox, the game crashed and froze up and wouldn't work anymore.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
Just Garamon's jukebox, if you scrolled down too far, the game just froze. Which
Lovely.
was quite annoying because you had to save manually, so if you hadn't saved in a while and just went into the jukebox, not knowing about the glitch, you'd just lose hours of progress. But it's great because Garamon's like a virus Digimon, so it seems apt that the jukebox would crash the game.
Okay, cool. Do a couple more questions then. What was your favourite thing about the game? Like anything you enjoyed? For example, I love the meat farm so much. It made me so happy, just this thought of just meat. You grow meat on a farm and then you question them and they're like, yeah, where else do you get meat from?
It's so good. I think my favourite thing in the game is probably the Dromodramon tunnel, because that's an area that I've been to so many times and there's so much in there. It's a pretty small area, but you go there quite a lot of times to get through it and eventually open up a shortcut.
Yeah, but don't you do that quest where you've got to help clear the tunnel and you've got to drag that cart full of dirt so many times?
Yeah, but I love that.
Yeah, but it's so many more times than it should be.
It takes like 2 days to do it, but it's so worth it. It trains your Digimon and also works on a quest. And I wish there was more like that in the game.
That was also another good thing about it. Like, you could also do training in other places. Like, I remember, is it, Sherrymon you find? And then, it clears the mist, but it also increases your intelligence. Stuff like that was pretty cool.
And then some of them were just really weird. Like, in the middle of the ice sanctuary, there's just a massive ice block or something.
Also, another thing that I enjoyed about the game was the fact that, it's essentially File Island from Digimon Adventure.
Yeah, it is pretty much.
So looking at the places that are in the game and the TV show, it was pretty cool seeing the parallels.
I think I just remembered one of the other weird training ones, which I think, correct me if I'm wrong, at the top of Trash Mountain, there's just a giant poo.
Yeah,
that you can get your Digimon to sit in.
Yes, yeah. The second you said that, you just thought of another one that was pretty weird. I immediately thought, is it the sitting in poo one?
Yeah, you just get your Digimon to sit in poo. And I think that raised MP.
Yeah, it makes you more magical.
Somehow. King Sukamon, that was just a giant Sukamon.
With some garbage on his head.
He was the best. He was so cool. Went to him so many times because I kept getting Sukamon. I was just like, are you sure you want to turn him back?
I didn't know that. That would be so useful. There's so much stuff in that game that it's hard to find out.
I only know all this stuff from playing it a lot. But King Sukamon could turn your Sukamon back reluctantly, because obviously he thinks that Sukamon are the best. So he like checks that you're sure before he does it. And then turns them back into what they were before. And then they die of old age like a day later anyway. Because it took you several days to get there. It's just such a massive game.
And
So
for
much
PlayStation
stuff.
1, that's quite good.
I always wanted to recruit Shogun Gekumon, but of course you can't do that. You can recruit the Gekomon, but he still sort of stays there, even though you get him to come back. It's like there were a few Digimon that you didn't properly recruit and instead joined the arena so that you could battle them. Oh, the cards. Do you remember the cards?
Oh my god, yes. You can get like the card shop and you had to go and buy packs of cards and stuff. I remember, I still didn't get all of those because it was so much time and effort.
I'm pretty certain that at some point I had all the cards. I've had so many save files that I have no idea what I've actually completed or not.
Did it give you anything for completing the cards?
There's probably a medal or something. There's like 15 medals in the game, and I think I've only ever had one. Not counting the one that you get for having perfect stats, because I had a bootleg copy which let me put on codes when I turned it on, so I could get max stats, and that's how I managed to explore pretty much everything really easily. Because my Digimon was invincible.
At one point. I unlocked the evolution. Like I gave myself evolution items and maxed my stats, so I could just walk around Fireland. Even then, though, knowing I had max stats, I had all the moves as well, so I could use like the one that Machinedramon uses. Like even having that, I was still terrified of running around Fire Island. Still
Battles
terrifying.
Just took a lot of time. It's basically everything except the gameplay is fun.
Yeah, you said. Yeah, I kind of agree that the mechanics were interesting, but they weren't the best when pulled off. Like it kind of fell a bit.
It's a very grindy game, but it's still fun to explore and go back to every once in a while.
Anything else you want to say about it, or should we do like closing statements and stuff?
Patamon's the best in that game.
The way Patamon jumps is cute. Little flip, flip, flip.
I also like that the one that you come across, you just have to beat them 3 times before they give up and just join you, see?
Little fighty potato. Any final thoughts of the game?
It's a good game. I like it.
Would you say that's nostalgia or just factually correct?
Partly nostalgia, partly just because I'm a Digimon fan. So it's Digimon, and I like Digimon.
I definitely think if you are a fan of adventure, it's worth playing it to see all the locations they go to. It's good. Okay, final thing, if you had to give it a score out of 10 for playability, what would you give it?
4.
Yeah, I'd say 5. 5. 'Cause it functioned, but it wasn't amazing. Actually, yeah, no, I'm gonna go down to 4 actually as well, because it was a lot of grind.
They got the Tamagotchi stuff right. It's just not suited for long play sessions.
Okay, story and plot.
Well, it's not really that much of a story.
I'm going to say 4 as well, because there is story, but it's literally just, you're here, bring these Digimon back. There's a guy called Analogmon, who is the villain that you don't find out.
Most of the story's just through world building.
Actually, no, I'm going to give it more. I'm going to give it a 6, because the main story is non-existent, pretty much, but all the individual stories you get with the Digimon makes it really good.
And you kind of make your own stories as you become attached to your own Digimon and take them around.
So I'm going to give it a 6. What are you going to give it?
I'm going to say 7.
Okay, yeah. Replayability?
Well, I've replayed it like every year, probably. So 9.
I'm going to give it. Okay, I'm going to give it a 7, because like there is like you will get different Digimon if you keep playing it again and again and again, and the order to get the Digimon's different as well. The only thing that will probably hold it back from being replayable is the amount of grind from the mechanics. And then overall, like what if you had to give it a score for everything all wrapped up in a little big bow, a little big bow in a big red bow? Like what score would you give it? Like what's your game score?
I'd probably say 8, but that's probably just me being extremely nostalgic.
8 out of 10?
Yes. Mostly for nostalgia reasons. But I still really enjoy the game.
I'm going to give it a 6. These are arbitrary numbers, by the way. I don't know whether you want to add these to a tally or something. For all the games
not.
You do. Pardon?
Probably not.
Oh, okay. But I'd probably give it a 6. Like, the world's interesting, the characters are interesting, the plot's non-existent, but the gameplay itself is such a grind fest.
I just really like the game. I've spent too much time with it to not be attached to it. It's like my Mario.
It's like your Mario.
It's my Mario 64.
See, I played Mario 64 a lot.
I didn't because I'd never had an N64. I had a PlayStation.
Saying that, on
Digimon
while we're talking
World.
about games, as a quick aside, we got the SNES Mini yesterday. It's got Star Fox 2. And to go from, because my first game I ever played was Lilac Wars on N64. And then getting Star Fox and Star Fox 2. Star Fox is cool, but it's kind of difficult. And Star Fox 2 is really cool, but like people are saying it's garbage. It's like, okay, but the game was made like so many years ago, like 20 years ago. Don't compare it to today's game standards. But yeah,
but it's only just come out for the first time.
Yeah, but it was made loads, like so many years ago. Okay, anything else you want to say about it before we finish off?
Digimon is good.
Okay. Lovely. Cut music number 1.
Is that how we're ending it? Should we just end it with you saying cut music number 1 and leave it there?
No, because we've got to do the ending stuff as well, the Patreon endings.
Okay. Next time we'll be back to normal episodes. We'll be talking about episode 8.
No, don't add that bit. We don't even need to say what we're talking about next time.
Next time we'll be talking about something.
I think the next thing we're talking about is Pokemon Red and Blue, because I want to do 2 similar things.
I've only played Yellow.
Pardon?
I've only played Yellow.
Okay, well we can talk about Red, Blue and Yellow then. But I want to do
Red, Yellow and Blue.
2 games, then 2 maybe toys, and then books, because I've got the manga.
I've not read anything.
I'll find the things for you. These aren't
I've never read anything.
I'll post you up the manga and stuff then.
The real reason I wanted to cover the dub is because I can't read, so we couldn't do subtitles.
Okay, you can do the outro bit.
Okay, let's see how much I can remember off the top of my head. You can listen to more of us on SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher, or YouTube. And you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, our Wizworld thread, and you can join us in our Discord and email us. And I think that's everything.
Apart from supporting you on Patreon, if you want to support you on Patreon.
Yeah, that's an optional thing. You can support me on Patreon if you want bonus rewards like a drawing every month or raw episodes of the Moncast and any other stuff I make. Because who knows what I'll end up doing, because I have some dumb ideas sometimes.
Thank you for listening.
Yeah, thanks.
Bye.
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 Go play Digimon World.
Yes, please do play Digimon World. 3,
Get it on your
2,
PSP.
1.
Oh, I've not pressed click.